Hello and welcome to this tutorial. In this video, we will explore an amazing extension for After Effects. This extension allows you to save everything in After Effects. This is the extension UI where we will be working. Let's get started. These are the folder organization buttons. Let's create a folder. We click on the root icon, then click the Create Folder button. Now we enter a name. A new category has been added. If you select a folder and click this button, that folder will be deleted. Additionally, if needed, you can change the folder name using the Edit button. With the Import button, you can manually import your assets or drag and drop them into the extension. There is a default package included with the download file that you can also import. This package contains interesting assets. Be sure to test them out. You can even import your own templates into the extension. Let's test a few examples. In this example, we have a folder containing GIF and AEP files. When we import the folder into the extension, all the templates are displayed with their previews, allowing us to use them in our projects. The next folder contains preset files and GIF previews. I want to categorize them. As you can see, the preset folder has been moved to the subcategory of the selected category. The next folder contains two separate folders for previews and templates. Let's create a new folder and move them into it. First, we import the preset folders to see what happens. As you can see, the folders are imported in a categorized manner, but they don't have previews. Let's go back to the preview folder. Yes, here they are. So, we import the preview folders in the same place again. Now it's correct, and the preview files are matched with the presets. These previews are in MP4 format. This extension supports a wide range of formats for previews. Let's try another one. The extension environment is responsive. You can minimize the folder section or change the size of the thumbnails. For the next example, I will create a folder. This folder will contain 36 categories, each of which includes several objects. Each object contains a project file and a preview file. To maintain the structure of the categories, I will select the subfolders and add them to the extension. In the Settings section, you can add a new destination folder path. I have already placed my assets in this path. I select it. In the previous example, if we had transferred the main folder to the extension, all objects in that package would have been placed in one folder without any categorization. You can categorize your assets and have them organized in one place. ready to use anytime and anywhere. In the latest update, the search engine has been modified to perform searches across all categories and subfolders. Additionally, the search operation now covers all destination paths, including shared folders such as Google Drive or OneDrive. The search operation here is conducted among approximately 15,000 objects within 239 categories. Let me search for something. For example, ball. All ball objects across all folders are displayed in a moment, allowing me to easily use them in my projects. Let me search for the term explosion. As you can see, 44 objects were found out of a total of 15,000 objects. Let me add one of these footages to the timeline. Great. Now I'll add a sound effect to it. And maybe a camera shake as well. Let's see how we can save objects. Here, we have a composition. This composition includes several layers, such as footage, a camera, multiple text layers, and a sound effect. Let's create a new folder. In the Settings section, we can choose the Preview Save mode. First, let's try without a thumbnail. For this case, we check the Collect Files and Fonts checkbox. Click the Save button and now save composition. Enter a name and press Enter. Our composition has been saved without a preview. Now, let's try saving with a static thumbnail. To do this, place the CTI at the time where you want the image to be captured. Now, just like before, start the saving process. Yes, the composition has been saved with a static thumbnail. Let's try Save Preview with a PNG sequence. We can also change the background color of the preview. For this, the work area duration is considered as the range for saving the live preview, and the CTI is used as the static thumbnail image. Now, just like before, start the saving process. Yes, we have a thumbnail that, when hovered over, displays the PNG sequence. Now, let's try with a GIF preview. Change the background color to make it more noticeable. The work area duration is considered as the range for saving the GIF video, and save the composition. And OK. The composition has been created with a GIF preview. If you right-click on the object, you have these options: delete, rename, edit source, set thumbnail, open location. Let's go to the object save location. Here we have a GIF file. The footage files are stored. as well as the audio files, and all the fonts that were used in the composition. Now let's test what we've done. Open a new project and create a new composition. Place the CTI where we want our object to be. Then click on it. Yes, our composition has been added to the timeline with all its content. Here we have several compositions, each containing shape animations. We select the items we want to save. Let's try with a static thumbnail. Before saving, we set the CTI position and select the Save Multiple Compositions option. The compositions are selected and saved one by one. Let's collapse the folder section to have more space. Now I select another group of compositions. This time, let's test with a GIF preview and maybe a different background color. Then, Save button. As you can see, the selected compositions are being saved one by one with GIF previews. Before proceeding, don't forget to save your project. Now let's see how to save layers. First, let's save the entire composition. We set the work area duration to GIF preview range. And click Save Composition. Okay, composition saved successfully. Let's try saving layers. I want to save this title. I select these two layers. To limit the preview, I use the region of interest. This time, select the Save Layers button. Enter a name, for example, title, and click OK. Yes, the text layers have been saved with a cropped preview. Create a new project and a new composition. Now, import it into the new composition. As you can see, the saved layers have been added to the timeline. Of course, without any additional compositions or assets. In this section, I want to save this title animation layer. I don't need a live preview. Click on Save Layer. By right-clicking on the object and selecting Open Source, we can open the object's project and make any desired changes. After making the changes, I save the project. You can create a new preview for any of the created objects at any time. Let's create a GIF preview for this after the changes. Set the work area duration. In the settings, select the Live Preview mode. Right-click on the object and set the new thumbnail. Yes, the GIF has replaced the static thumbnail. And if we want to set a static thumbnail again, we adjust the CTI. Change the preview settings to a static thumbnail. Then set the new thumbnail again. The static thumbnail has replaced the GIF. Now, let's create a new project and a new composition. Import our object into the timeline. I want to have another instance of the same object here. As you can see, the new object uses the source of the previous object. I want to make changes to the second object. For example, changing its background color. However, the first object also changes because they have the same source. But I want the first object to remain unchanged. So, let's delete one of them. Now, if you hold down the Control key on your keyboard and click on the object, a new object with a new source will be added to the project. This way, you will have two separate objects. And if you make changes to one of them, it will not affect the other object. Let's delete one of them. Now, I want to replace this title animation with another template. If you select the layer, hold down the Control key on your keyboard, and click on the object, the new object will replace the selected object in the timeline. The new object retains the previous text. The source of the previous object is replaced with the new source. If the number of text layers in the new template is greater than in the previous one, for example in this case, the third text won't change. Let me change that as well and test it again on other templates. Now we see that all our previous texts are kept and applied to the new templates. To save a font, select your text layer and click the Save Font button. The font of the text layer is saved along with its preview. Let me save a few more fonts. Now you can toggle between them. Let's go to the folder. And as you can see, the font files are collected here. I want to save the markers of this layer. So, select the layer and click the Save Marker button. The markers are saved. I select another layer and apply the markers to it. Let's undo that and open the edit source for editing. We have all the marker details here and can modify them. I create a new marker, name it 4, and set its time to 8 seconds with a 10-frame offset. I also add a comment. Comments are used as tooltip text throughout the extension. Click the Save button and apply the marker. Marker 4 is added, and all markers are offset by 10 frames. In this section, I have 2 animated layers. One of them has an expression. The position of this layer has an expression. I want to save this expression, so I select the position property and click Save Expression. The position expression is saved, and now I apply it to the position of the second layer. As you can see, the expression has been applied to the selected property. We can also modify the saved expression. For example, I reduce the gravity a bit and test it again. Save your expressions so they are always accessible. In this composition, we have a simple ball animation. It's a good idea to look at the essential expressions in the default package. I select the position, I find the default package, then the expressions folder, and apply this expression to it. The bounce effect is simulated. I recommend trying out the other expressions in the default package as well. Let's go back to our previous folder. Click the Save Code button. In the Open panel, we can manually write expressions or JSX codes. For example, we write a wiggle code, and save it as an expression. The expression is saved. Now we test it on the layer's position. We go back to the Save Code panel. Now I write a JSX code, for example, a simple alert. I save it as a JSX code. Our code is saved, and when we click on it, the alert message is displayed. There's a layer here with a mask. I want to save its mask. Select the desired mask and click the Save Mask button from the Save submenu. Enter a name and click OK. The mask is saved. Let's test it on a new solid. The mask, with all its properties, is applied to the new layer. Let's undo. Right-click on the mask and select the edit source. Here, you can see all the mask parameters: name, duration, number of masks, color, vertices, and etc., which we can modify. Also, scale, rotation, and offset. Let's have the scale and save it. Now we test it again. Yes, the mask is applied with changes. In this example, we have two animated layers with different speeds. I want to save the keyframe speed of the first layer. So, I select the relevant keyframes and click the Save Keyframe Interpolation button. The speed of the selected keyframes is saved along with the graph editor preview. As shown in the thumbnail, keyframes are in 2D layer with 2 keyframes. Now, I select the keyframes of the second layer and apply the interpolation to these keyframes. The changes have been made. Let's see another example. We have 4 layers here. One of them has several effects. I want to save its effects, so select them and click the Save Preset button. Enter a name and click OK. The preset is saved, and we can apply it to any layer. Let me apply another effect to the layer and save them again. The second preset is also saved. Now I can toggle between them. By default, the selected preset is added to the layer's effects. If we hold down the Control key on the keyboard and click, the previous effects of the layer are removed and the preset replaces them. I want to apply the preset to other layers as well. So I select them and click on the preset. Yes, the preset is applied to all the selected layers. It's great to add some transitions to the project now. Open the default package and select Transitions. You can create your own transitions and also import transition packages into the extension. If the transition precomposition has a marker when saving, its position will sync with the CTI when importing it into the timeline. In this example, we have a title animation. This layer has a mask, various effects, several animators, and layer styles. We want to save them as a preset. So, we select each one we need. For this case, I want to use a GIF preview. Click the Save Preset button, enter a name, and click OK. All the selected items are saved as a preset. Let's test it. First, I create a text layer and write some text, for example, aescripts.com. Then I apply the preset to it. As you can see, the preset is applied to the layer with all the relevant properties. I hope you find this extension very useful. Thank you for watching.